Hello and welcome. If you're watching this today, let me ask you a quiet but powerful question. What if turning 80 doesn't just change your body, but slowly changes how the world treats you? Many women are prepared for gray hair. Some expect weaker joints, but very few are warned about what really begins to shift after 80. The energy that fades faster than expected, the memory lapses that arrive quietly, the shrinking social circle, the growing sense of vulnerability, and most painfully, the feeling of becoming invisible while still being fully alive inside. These changes don't arrive all at once. They creep in slowly, often without explanation, without guidance, and without honest conversation. Doctors rarely talk about them. Families often don't notice them. And yet, millions of older women experience them every single day. This video is not meant to scare you. It is meant to prepare you, protect you, and empower you. Because the truth is, understanding what lies ahead gives you control. Control over your safety, your independence, and your peace of mind. So stay with me until the end, especially the final insight. It's the one most women never see coming, and once you understand it, everything changes. If this message speaks to you, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Your support helps this message reach women who may be feeling alone right now. Turning 80 is not marked by a single dramatic moment. There is no loud signal, no clear line crossed. Instead, change arrives quietly, often before you realize it has begun. The first shift many women notice is a decline in physical energy. This does not mean illness. It does not mean weakness. It means that the body, even when healthy, no longer restores itself as quickly as it once did. Activities that used to fit easily into a morning may now require an entire day. A short trip outside can feel unexpectedly exhausting. Standing too long, cooking a full meal, or even social outings can drain energy faster than expected. This change often feels frustrating because the desire to stay active remains, while the body quietly sets new limits. The second change is subtle memory decline. This is not dementia, and it is not the loss of intelligence. It shows up in small, everyday moments: misplacing glasses, forgetting why you entered a room, needing a pause to recall a familiar name. These moments can feel unsettling, but especially for women who have spent a lifetime being organized, reliable, and sharp. The danger lies not in the forgetfulness itself, but in the self-doubt it can create. Many women begin to question themselves unnecessarily, even though this shift is a natural part of aging, not a personal failure. The third change is one of the most emotionally difficult: the shrinking of social circles. At 80, loss becomes more visible. Friends of many decades pass away. Others move into assisted living or relocate closer to family. Children and grandchildren, while loving, often live busy, fast-paced lives filled with work and responsibility. Phone calls become less frequent. Visits become shorter. Silence slowly fills spaces that were once full of conversation. This is not always neglect, but the result is often loneliness. And loneliness has a weight that cannot be ignored. The fourth shift is increased vulnerability, both physical and emotional. Physically, the risk of falls rises sharply. Balance changes. Reaction times slow. A minor misstep can have serious consequences. Illnesses that were once manageable can now linger longer and hit harder. Emotionally, vulnerability takes another form. Older women are often targeted by scammers who exploit trust, politeness, and a lifetime habit of believing in goodwill. A single phone call, a moment of confusion, or a sense of urgency can lead to devastating losses, not because of carelessness but because of manipulation. And finally, the most painful change for many women, a shift in identity, a quiet feeling of becoming invisible. In stores, eyes pass over you. In medical offices, conversations are sometimes directed to others instead of you. Society begins to act as if your story has already ended. Yet inside you are still the same person, thoughtful, capable, full of memory, humor, and wisdom. This disconnect between how you feel and how you are treated can deeply affect self-worth. It is not imagined, it is real. These 5 changes do not arrive separately. They overlap, reinforce one another, and quietly reshape daily life. Fatigue increases the risk of falls. Loneliness deepens memory concerns. Vulnerability feeds fear, and invisibility erodes confidence. Understanding these shifts is not about fear. It is about clarity. Because when you recognize what is happening, you can respond with awareness instead of self-blame, preparation instead of panic, and dignity instead of silence. Aging does not erase value. It reveals it, if we choose to see it. And that is why this conversation matters. To truly understand why these changes feel heavier after the age of 80, we need to look beyond individual symptoms and see the bigger picture. What happens at this stage of life is not the result of one single factor, but the convergence of physical, social, and psychological shifts that reinforce one another. First, there is the physical reality of the aging body. By the time a woman reaches her 80s, the body no longer has the same reserves it once did. Muscle mass naturally decreases. Balance becomes less stable. Reflexes slow down in ways that are subtle but critical. When you stumble, your body may no longer react quickly enough to catch itself. Recovery from illness or injury takes longer, and fatigue sets in faster. The immune system, which once fought off minor infections with ease, becomes less efficient. A simple cold can now feel overwhelming. What makes this particularly challenging is that these changes are not always dramatic. They accumulate quietly until one day the world feels harder to navigate than it used to. The second factor is living alone. Many women in their 80s find themselves on their own, often after the loss of a spouse or partner. While independence can be empowering, it also carries risk. When you live alone, there is no immediate safety net. No one to notice if you are unwell, confused, or struggling. Everyday tasks, managing medications, attending appointments, shopping for food, require more effort and planning. Over time, this can lead to increased dependence on caregivers, service providers, or even strangers. That dependence can feel uncomfortable, especially for women who spent much of their lives caring for others rather than being cared for. Then there's the social shift. The world moves faster, louder, and more digitally connected, yet paradoxically more distant. Many older women did not grow up with technology as a central part of daily life. Automated phone systems, online forms, and rapid-fire conversations can feel overwhelming. This creates a quiet disadvantage. Asking for help becomes harder. Speaking up feels exhausting, and slowly women may begin to withdraw. Not because they want to, but because keeping up requires more energy than it once did. Perhaps the most overlooked factor is psychology shaped by a different era. Women now, in their 80s, were raised in a time when trust was a social currency. A handshake meant something. Words carried weight. Politeness was a virtue. not a vulnerability. Many were taught not to question authority, not to cause trouble, and not to appear suspicious. These values built strong communities, but in today's world, they can also expose women to harm. Scammers, aggressive salespeople, and even unethical professionals often recognize this trust and exploit it. Not because older women are naive, but because they are decent. This creates a painful contradiction. The very qualities that defined a good life, kindness, patience, trust, can become sources of risk. Add to this the emotional burden of being underestimated. From the outside, many women in their 80s appear fine. They are dressed neatly, they smile, they say they are okay. But what is often unseen is the fatigue beneath the surface, the quiet anxiety about falling, forgetting, or being a burden. When these struggles are dismissed as just aging, women may feel discouraged from speaking up, and silence over time compounds vulnerability. This is why the changes after 80 feel heavier than expected, not because women are weaker, but because the systems around them are less forgiving, less patient, and less attentive. Understanding this truth is not about accepting decline. It is about recognizing context, because when you see the full picture, one thing becomes clear. These challenges are not personal failures. They are structural realities, and awareness is the first step toward protecting dignity, independence, and safety in the years that still matter deeply. At first glance, many of the changes that come after the age of 80 seem manageable. Feeling a little more tired, spending more time alone, forgetting small details. On the surface, these may appear to be minor inconveniences, an expected part of growing older. But beneath that surface lies a set of hidden risks that are far more serious than most people realize. The first and most dangerous risk is fatigue leading to falls. Fatigue is not just about feeling sleepy or lacking motivation. In older bodies, fatigue weakens balance, slows reaction time, and reduces the ability to respond quickly to unexpected movement. A single moment of tiredness, standing up too fast, walking in dim light, reaching for something just out of reach, can lead to a fall. And after 80, falls are no longer minor accidents. They are the leading cause of emergency room visits for women in this age group. A broken hip, wrist, or spine can mean months of pain, loss of independence, or permanent mobility changes. What makes this risk so dangerous is that it often goes unnoticed until the fall happens. The second hidden risk is loneliness. Loneliness is often misunderstood as an emotional discomfort, something sad but harmless. In reality, loneliness is a serious health threat. Research consistently shows that chronic loneliness increases the risk of depression, heart disease, cognitive decline, and even premature death. For women over 80, loneliness can creep in quietly. Days pass without meaningful conversation. Evenings grow long and silent. Over time, the mind begins to turn inward. Motivation decreases. Memory weakens. Physical health declines faster. Loneliness does not announce itself loudly. It slowly erodes both mental and physical strength. But the third risk comes from forgetfulness combined with financial vulnerability. Misplacing keys or forgetting a name may seem trivial. But in today's world, even a small lapse in attention can have devastating consequences. Scammers are highly trained to exploit confusion, urgency, and trust. A phone call claiming to be from a bank, a government office, or a family member in trouble can trigger panic. In that moment, hesitation disappears. Decisions are made quickly. Life savings can vanish in minutes. This risk is not caused by carelessness. It is caused by pressure, emotional manipulation, and the natural cognitive changes of aging. Another deeply troubling risk is being underestimated by loved ones. Many adult children believe they would notice if something were wrong, but the truth is, difficulty does not always show on the surface, and a woman can appear well-dressed, polite, and cheerful during short visits, while privately struggling with exhaustion, fear, confusion, or isolation. Because she has spent a lifetime being strong and self-reliant, she may minimize her struggles or avoid mentioning them altogether. As a result, family members assume everything is fine. Needs go unmet. Problems grow quietly. This gap between appearance and reality is one of the most dangerous aspects of aging after 80, because when struggles are invisible, they are easily dismissed. Fatigue is brushed off as normal aging. Loneliness is mistaken for preference. Forgetfulness is laughed away. Fear is kept silent. And yet, each of these carries real consequences. When fatigue leads to a fall, recovery may never be complete. When loneliness persists, health declines accelerate. When scams succeed, independence is threatened. When struggles are underestimated, support arrives too late. None of these risks exist in isolation. They overlap, reinforce one another, and quietly increase danger over time. This is why awareness matters. Not fear, awareness. Because recognizing these hidden risks allows for prevention instead of reaction, preparation instead of regret, and compassion instead of dismissal. Aging does not make a woman fragile by default, but ignoring these risks does. And the greatest danger of all is not the changes themselves. It is pretending they are not happening. While the challenges of aging after 80 are real, they are not a sentence of helplessness. In fact, some of the most effective protections come from small, consistent actions, not dramatic changes. What matters is not trying to fight aging, but learning how to move with it intelligently and safely. The first and most important step is improving nighttime safety. Many serious falls happen not during the day, but at night, when the body is tired and the lighting is poor. Standing up in the dark, walking to the bathroom, or navigating a hallway half asleep increases risk dramatically. A simple nightlight placed in the bedroom, hallway, or bathroom can make a life-changing difference. This small source of light restores visual orientation, reduces confusion, and gives the body time to adjust. It may seem insignificant, but this single habit has prevented countless falls. Safety often begins with visibility. The second solution is support and memory with structure, not pressure. Forgetfulness becomes dangerous only when it is ignored. Instead of relying on memory alone, it is far safer to build systems that reduce mental strain. Keeping a notebook or calendar in one consistent location, near the phone or on the wall, allows important information to stay visible. Appointments, medication schedules, and daily tasks should be written down clearly. This is not a sign of decline. It is a sign of wisdom. External memory tools free the mind from constant worry and create a sense of calm and control in daily life. The third step is intentional social connection. Loneliness does not disappear on its own. Waiting for others to call often leads to disappointment, not connection. Taking the initiative, even in small ways, can dramatically change emotional well-being. A weekly phone call, a short visit, or a shared cup of tea with a neighbor creates rhythm and expectation. These moments do not need to be long or complicated. Consistency matters more than duration. Regular human contact strengthens mood, supports cognitive health, and reminds the body and mind that they are still part of a living world. The fourth and increasingly critical solution is financial vigilance. Scammers rely on urgency, fear, and confusion. The most powerful defense is a simple rule: never make financial decisions under pressure. Any unexpected call, message, or request involving money should be treated as suspicious by default. Legitimate institutions allow time for verification. Trusted family members or banks can be consulted before action is taken. Writing down phone numbers of trusted contacts and keeping them nearby provides an added layer of security. Protecting finances is not just about money. It is about protecting independence and peace of mind. These solutions work best together, not separately. A nightlight reduces fall risk. Written notes reduce anxiety. Social routines reduce loneliness. Financial awareness reduces exploitation. Each one reinforces the others. What makes these steps powerful is their simplicity. They do not require strength, speed, or technology mastery. They require awareness and consistency. Small changes, practiced daily, build a quiet shield of protection around everyday life. It is also important to release one dangerous belief: the idea that asking for support means losing independence. In truth, planning is what preserves independence. Preparation is not weakness. It is self-respect. Aging after 80 does not mean giving up control, and it means choosing where to place it. When safety is prioritized, when memory is supported, when connection is maintained, and when vigilance replaces fear, life becomes steadier. Not perfect, but safer, calmer, more dignified. These are not grand solutions. They are realistic ones, and sometimes the smallest habits are the ones that quietly protect the most precious thing of all: your ability to continue living on your own terms. Even with the best preparation, the safest home, and the strongest routines, life after 80 can still bring moments that require immediate action. Emergencies do not always announce themselves loudly. Often they arrive suddenly, and how you respond in those first moments can determine the outcome. The most important principle to remember is this: acting quickly is not overreacting. It is self-protection. The first emergency scenario is a fall. If you fall, do not minimize it. Do not try to be strong or wait it out. After 80, even a fall that seems minor can cause internal injuries, fractures, or delayed complications. The correct response is immediate. Call emergency services right away, even if you believe you can stand. Then contact a trusted person, a family member, neighbor, or close friend. Prompt medical attention can be the difference between a short recovery and a permanent loss of mobility. Pride has no place in emergencies. Your safety comes first. The second scenario is financial fraud. Scams happen fast and leave people frozen with shock or shame. If you realize you have been deceived, time is critical. Contact your bank immediately and request that all affected accounts be frozen. This step alone can stop further losses. After that, report the incident to the appropriate authorities. Many women hesitate to do this because they feel embarrassed or blame themselves. That silence only helps scammers. Reporting protects not only you, but others who might be targeted next. Fraud is a crime, not a personal failure. The third emergency is emotional isolation and depression. Loneliness becomes dangerous when it turns inward and stays unspoken. If you begin to feel persistent sadness, loss of interest, fear, or emotional numbness, speak directly to your doctor. Be honest. Emotional pain deserves the same attention as physical pain. There are senior support groups, counseling services, and community programs specifically designed for older adults. You are not a burden for needing support. You are a human being responding to real emotional strain. Here, the fourth critical scenario is noticeable memory decline. Occasional forgetfulness is normal, but when confusion increases, when important details are missed, or when daily tasks become difficult, early action is essential. Begin by writing down what you notice. Dates, situations, and examples help clarify patterns. Share this information with family members and bring it to your doctor. Early conversations open doors to support, treatment, and planning. Waiting does not protect independence, it risks it. Across all these situations, one truth remains constant. You deserve to be taken seriously. If a professional dismisses your concerns as just aging, continue speaking until someone listens. You know your body. You know your mind. You know when something has changed. Emergencies are not signs of weakness. They are moments that require clarity and courage. The greatest danger lies not in the crisis itself, but in hesitation, in silence, delay, or self-doubt. Having a plan changes everything. It removes panic. It replaces fear with direction. Knowing who to call, what to say, and when to act gives you power, even in difficult moments. Aging after 80 does not mean surrender in control. It means protecting it with intention. Preparedness is not pessimism. It is dignity. And when action is taken early, outcomes improve, physically, emotionally, and financially. Your safety, your voice, and your well-being matter. Always. Even in moments of uncertainty, you are not alone, and you never have to face crisis in silence. The changes that come after the age of 80 are real. They are not imagined, and they are not exaggerated. Energy fades faster, and the body responds more slowly. The world feels louder, quicker, and less patient than it once did. But none of this means weakness, and it certainly does not mean helplessness. Aging is not the loss of worth. It is a shift in rhythm. What truly makes the difference is awareness. When changes are recognized early, they can be managed wisely. Small daily habits, turning on a nightlight, writing things down, reaching out to someone once a week, pausing before financial decisions, may seem simple, even ordinary. Yet these habits quietly protect safety, preserve independence, and strengthen confidence. They allow life to continue with steadiness instead of fear. Independence at this stage of life does not come from doing everything alone. It comes from preparation. There is dignity in planning. And there is strength in asking for support before crisis arrives. There is wisdom in adapting without surrendering identity. Too often, older women are treated as if their story is finished, as if their best contributions are behind them. But the truth is very different. Women in their 80s carry decades of lived experience, resilience, insight, and emotional intelligence. These are not diminishing assets. They are rare ones. Feeling overlooked does not mean you are invisible. Spending more time alone does not mean you are forgotten. Needing adjustments does not mean you are less valuable. You still matter, deeply. Your voice matters. Your safety matters. Your comfort, independence, and peace of mind matter. Growing older does not erase identity. It refines it. And when daily life is shaped by awareness instead of denial, by routine instead of reaction, aging becomes something that can be navigated, not feared. Life may slow, but meaning does not disappear. It often becomes clearer. You're not alone in this stage of life. Millions of women are walking the same path, asking the same quiet questions, and learning the same lessons. And together, those lessons form a powerful truth. Aging does not diminish value. It reveals it. If this message resonated with you, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who may need reassurance today. Your support helps this message reach women who deserve to feel seen, safe, and valued at every age.